to Concrete Mouse Scrapbook with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and it's Blue Monday! Yay! Blue Monday! Now, we have a real cute little block here called 3 coins. Yes, it's our applique, and yes, we're doing curves. It's easy. It's easy. Trust me on this. It'll be easy. But first, let's do a shout out, because the shout outs are always important. Susan from Sunrise Quilt Company, or Quilt Studio, sorry, is, I've watched her for a very, very long time. And go over there, tell her that Brenda from Concrete Mouse Scrapbook sent you. She's been doing such lovely work over there. I just cannot believe. She also does long arming videos as well. But her style is just beautiful. So you gotta go check her out and tell her Brenda from Concrete Mouse Scrapbook sent you. You know, send her some love and encouragement. It's always good. Now, another thing you're gonna find in our show notes, in other than her YouTube channel, is that I speak for free. Yes, I speak for free to quilting groups and quilting guilds, and this is part of my giving back to the quilting community. I just am loving talking to these people about using your fabric scraps, elements of design, making charity quilts, and just having a good time, you know, and, you know, where to find free patterns. I do talk about a little bit about my YouTube channel, but I mean, it's all stuff that's coming up or what we've done in the past, and if they would like to use any of the patterns, they're more than welcome to. So if you are part of a quilting group or a quilting guild and they're looking for somebody that fits that, this is what we want to talk about, put my name forward. I'd be happy to talk to them for free. Also, you're going to find the community round robin I did with Michelle from Bits and Pieces, Kelley from Kelley's Quilts and Cruises, and Future Cat from New Zealand. Those blocks are coming out. They're beautiful. They're in my Facebook feed for our Facebook group, and they're just stunning. And the lovely color palettes that are coming out of those blocks is amazing. I just like, ooh, they're so pretty indeed. Now, the other thing too is we have a Facebook group, and we do all the same things that other Facebook groups do, but we have lots of different community chats that we enjoy, and we share patterns, and sometimes we share recipes, and we have a chat for anything else, and then we have, you know, a fabric exchanges by country. There's lots going on, and it's all sorts of fun. It's just wonderful. Now, you're also going to find in those show notes, I cannot tell you how important those show notes are to get into, because you get the cutting instructions or PDFs or anything that's in there. You get all of this, and you get the Zoom sew dates and the link for the Zoom. So you can go onto your calendar and say, okay, these dates, they have a Zoom sew date. I'm going to try and attend. And we're doing that from now until the end of December. That's when those dates are listed out. We are going to continue that for you because I get a lot done. We get to talk to a whole bunch of people and we find out what's inspiring them, and everybody does a little show and tell or what you're working on, or it's wonderful. And if you are on a day where, wow, I really don't feel like sewing, you want to bring your crocheting, bring it. It's a great place to come on, hang out. So let's get off to this sewing here today and call it 3 coins. So come on in, let's get the sewing done. Okay, we're at the sewing machine, and so I don't take up a lot of your time, I'm going to show you how to sew 1 circle, right? Because I think 1 circle is probably enough. Now I have some really lightweight interfacing here, and I'm just going to flip this the other way, right? So the good side is being sewn down to the interfacing, right? So now I'm just going to get out here, and let's see. I probably put a few pins in here. That's probably not a bad idea, because basically we're going to do applique, and we're going to run this around, and we are going to stitch it down. There. I'm just going to go quickly around here, and I'll show you how to do the... I won't show you how to do the other two because they're exactly the same. Now I want a stitch that's right at the 1/4 inch around the edge, right? So I got my 1/4 inch foot on, and I'm steering as we go. Now, some people say I take my curves too quick. Okay, maybe. But I get the job done, right? So that's important. You know, so there. And we're coming up to the last 1/4. Okay. Oops, there we go. And my back stitch just a bit, and just to get this through there. Now, I'm going to stitch off my plug. Now, when I take my pins out, and I'm going to flip this to the other side, right like so. And inside here, I'm going to pull them apart so that they look like that, right? So you can see they're not going to be cut. So now I can cut an X or, you know, a Y or W or whatever. And I can open up this, right? And flip this around. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my ironing board, right? And I'm just going to make sure I work this all the way around. All 3 blocks, all 3 of these are going to be done the same way. And I could, now there's some extra stuff in here, right? I should probably trim that off. I mean, I'm not going to take the world's smallest scissor to do this, but you would trim off all the excess, you know, fabric or interfacing. Just trim it off quickly with a, because you don't want to add a bunch of bulk in your block. But yeah, so trim it off. And, you know, yeah, we're taking this world's small scissor and doing anyways. So yeah, because then it turns easier and it will lie flatter once you get it to the ironing board. You know, and that's always nice too, to have a nice flat circle. Now, the reason you do the interface, it just makes it easier to turn, and it will provide a nice smooth edge, right? If it's done correctly, it's a nice smooth edge, right? So there you go. And the rest of that goes in the dog bed. Take this and flip it over just like so. And now you start to massage this out, where now I take this and I just make sure I get a little bit of finger pressing done first before I take it to the ironing board, because then I find I get a really smooth, nice product right away. And I leave a little bit of black hanging out. Just like, we're talking like threads of black hanging out. That, you know, because then you don't want any of the white to show through. Even though your background here is white, you know, you don't want them to show through. Okay, so you just, you know, you want to just finger press it, and it's all good. So I will come back when all 3 of these are done and pressed, right? Because you want to see the finished product of them being pressed. And once they're pressed, they usually look a whole lot better. But yeah, then that will save some time on, you know, for videos. But I put 3 together because there's an old Chinese saying about odd numbers are beautiful and even numbers are not. So they, you know, like if you want to do just 1, you can. 2 is, you know, is not supposed to be beautiful, but I don't know. I figured, okay, when you're doing arranging that forget what it's called. But anyway, so we'll go through and we'll get the rest of these all sewn up and pressed, and it'll look great. Okay, we're back, and we've got all of them sewn and pressed, and you got to use a clapper to get them really flat. Now, this backing is, the background here is like 13.5 inches. So you kind of have to, I was going to trim it, and I wasn't going to trim it until after I sewed it, because sometimes when you're doing applique, the work shrinks. So I didn't want to give you tell you to cut like 12.5 inches, because you might need a little bit more. Now, believe it or not, these all go together. And it's kind of like up to you how you want to line them up. The concept of 3 is, you know, like you can kind of line them up like that and just not, you know, make it, you want to make an art piece. You can also just kind of center them, and you could go like that, which is kind of an unusual block. Or you could put it to the other side to make it look like a, you know, one of those rolling blocks, you know, kind of thing. Or what you can do is you can, oops, you don't want to go too far that way. You can just put this like so, and you could hide this under here. So you kind of have them all meeting up you know, with a little bit of her, you know, underlapping, overlapping thing going on. But then, you know, that might take up a bit more than 12.5 inches. So you want to push this a little bit this way. But I think, you know what, I'm going to put one down, and it's not going to be centered. It's not going to be centered at all. And then from there, I will show you what you do next. Because this is kind of a, it's an art block. Everybody's art block will look different. And this is a good exercise to play. Now, one of the things when I was sewing these circles I did not explain to you, and I'm sorry I didn't. When you're sewing a circle, one hand is creating drag, the other hand is steering, right? So what we're going to do, oops, I'm going to get that through all the pieces of cloth and make it stay. Okay, so we've got this. Now I'm just going to use white thread on here, and I'll color it black later, or dark later. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out to this far edge. Okay. And we're just going to go skipping along the edge. Now, I think what I want to do is I want to change feet, because what's one of my videos about you guys watching me change the foot on my sewing machine? This one I have a little bit more, I can see a little bit better with where I'm at. Now I just want to go around the edge, right? So I start with this going down, and I might make a couple of stitches forward, a couple back, just to walk where I'm at in place. Now with this hand creates drag, this one steers, right? So in order to make it go around, you gotta have a little bit of drag on this side. You notice I'm not moving my hand too much, but I'm creating a bit of, you know, it's going around. I can give it a little more gas. There we go. There we go. Now, it's fun to do an art block every once in a while when you're doing some quilting, because it's just, it puts your mind in a different mindset. Okay, well there we are, that's the first round. Okay, now I put that off, and we, come on, oh, there we go. Get my plug back out, there. I do find my plug saves me thread. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and we're going to show you the back. I know you're sitting there, wait a minute, what are you going to do with the other ones? Okay, so we're going to take this, and we're going to hopefully grab the lining or the interfacing and this, and we're going to pull the blue away. Right, the blue away like that. So you have two pieces here. One is on this side here, and you're going to, and you want to get this as close as you can to that edge, because you want to clip out that excess fabric. You don't want that in your quilt, right? And you hope that you do not clip any of the fabric on top. And yes, I got both sides. Yay! So I just want to take this and go quickly around, and the large fabric scissors have disappeared because that's sewing. That happens. That kind of thing happens all the time. So we're going to take this off. Oh God. Here. Now I'm going to save the white here and put it in my, put it in my reserve. Like that's not good. But this lining, I've got so much lining kicking around that I don't know what to do with it. So I've left about 1/4 inch around. Now this will sit much flatter in your block, and it won't get you a lot of extra weight that you don't need. So now next up is I'm going to just go like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go just like that. I think that works. That works for me. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're pin it in place so it stays in the place and it doesn't pucker all about. And I should probably move this up just a hair. Just a hair. There we go. And pin again. And we're going to continue doing this until all 3 rounds are sewn in place. Yeah, you cut. Okay, what you do is you pin, you sew, you trim out the back when you're doing this kind of applique. Okay, now let's get this under. Oops. Okay. Back and forth just a bit. If you wanted to use a decorative stitch, you could. At this point, if your machine does decorative stitches, by all means. So this hand is creating drag, so everything's turning smoothly. This one's doing all the steering, and if you fall off the edge, that's okay. Just back up and get yourself back on the edge. There we go. There. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get this a little bit off because it's starting to create an issue here as I'm sewing. Okay, now back to sewing. And I don't even look as to where I have to go or how far I have to go because I got to go all the way around, right? So now we're going to do the same thing again. The tighter your curves, right, the harder it is to sew because you're doing a lot more drag. You have a lot more drag going on and you have a lot more other. Nice, loose that off, slow that down. There we go. And get this off the plug. The plug. Okay. So now flip it over, and this is the part you're going to cut out the back. And hopefully you'll be able to grab the interfacing at the same time. So you want to get, okay, as close to that edge as you can. And you've pulled away the paler blue. And now we're just going to trim there. Okay, whoops. Okay, yep, I got it. Got it. There we go. And now I can just trim away all of this. And yes, I'm going to trim that dark blue as well. Because there's some collateral damage in making this art block. But I will use this in a different art block, right? I will use this in a different block. It's not going to get wasted. So that's fine too. And it's all about removing bulk when you're doing this kind of applique, right? Okay, so there we go. There's another piece gone. And this goes into the crumb bin or wherever, and the pet bed stuffing. So last up now is going to be the little apron fabric. And I saw this in my stash and I was like, oh, this is adorable. Oh my god, this is so cute. So this is a perfect little place to put an I Spy Happy and Bright. So I went from dark medium to lighter blue. Now this one's going to be the harder circle. And when you get a tighter circle, the smaller the circles are, the harder it is to sew. So you take your time. You're going to take more time on this one, you know, going around than, you know, that you think you might have to. Just because you're going to fall off the edge more frequently. Now, oh, guess what? I covered up the edge I fell off of. Did I not? Yes, I did. Okay. So that worked out well. You know, it's sewing. It's an art block. It's fine. It's fine to make a mistake like that where you fall off the edge. Okay, back and forth, just a few, just to get you going. And you want to slow down because that curves It curves a little tighter. There we go. There. Oops. Okay, here. And I'm going to clip this off because it's... Okay. There. Now, there we go. Okay, last part. Now you take these pins out, and again, you're going to flip it over, and you're going to pull away just the first layer. You want to try and grab the interfacing layer behind this block here, and you want to get right close to the edge as you can. And sometimes these smaller curves are a little bit trickier. So you want to get as close as you can in, just make a little cut. And yes, you only got the interfacing, yay! And the backing, so that's good. So now you're just going to cut all of this out. And it looks strange because you're cutting out like the dark blue and the light blue, or the medium blue. Yeah, there. Now this block does end up being a little textured because of the interfacing under the seam where you just sewed it around on top, right? So you do have this, a little bit of this to bulk it. Now I could take this and use this because it's kind of got the dark background. I could put this as another art block, right? And just, you know, do a little applique around it and, you know, sew it onto a, you know, a red backing, and it would look fabulous. It would look fine. And the same with this one too. You could make this into a little hill and put a little scene of, let's say, little sheep or something like that if you wanted to. So it would, none of it goes to waste, really. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this is how it goes together. And yes, from the front, you do have some texture, but it'll all quilt out. It'll all be fine when you're done. Now, I'm going to give this a good press to make sure everything's lying flat. Trim it to 12.5 inches because I got a little salvage on this edge, and you know, and just kind of center this the best I can, not getting too crazy, right? But trying to follow, you know, this kind of frame. So I have this really pale, the low volume behind it. So, and then we'll be back for our ta-da moment. Okay, here we are. Here's our big ta-da moment, all pressed and lovely. And now I squared it down to 12.5 inches. Like I always went bigger because you never know if that is going to gather. So that's important that you go bigger, right? So this one was a lot of fun. And we did end up with some fun little scraps from the back of it, right? Like this I'll cut up or put into my crumb bin. This one I have little things, motifs or whatever I could do. A little blue mountain with a white cloud, or a snowbank at night. I mean, you know, like you could have some fun with these blocks, making other little art blocks out of them too, right? So this one we're going to put up to a learning skill, and you got to learn how to sew a circle or a curve. So anyways, I do hope you give this one a try on Blue Monday. Remember, we're trying to keep this beginner friendly and just have some fun with this, and you know, and maybe show off a little fun craziness. So I hope you have an absolutely amazing week ahead and life is going great for you, okay? So you take care until we see each other again. Okay, bye! Hello again. We just want to thank you for enjoying our video and, you know, coming along with my husband and my YouTube adventure and quilting. And you know, sometimes things don't work out as best they should, and sometimes they work out great. We're going, wow, that went well. But it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so glad I could share it with you. share, like, and subscribe these videos. That really helps us out, and it helps us make more charity quilts, okay? So you guys take care until we have a chance to meet again, okay? Bye!